Hello and welcome to things I find interesting that happened today in the past, aka T.I.F.I.T.H.T. This show is all about the events that occurred today in years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things I personally find intriguing enough for me to bring to you. The source of this information comes from the smart device application On This Day, the icon of which is shown as cutoff prevention at the beginning and end of each episode. The music in the background is Halcyon by JJD, which I found on the YouTube channel No Copyright Sounds. For links to the app, music, and anything else potentially interesting, check the underbar. Anyway, on with the show! Today is Moon's Day, aka Monday, April 25th, 2016. In 2015, nearly 9,100 people died after a 7.8 magnitude earthquake hit Nepal. In 2005, Bulgaria and Romania signed accession treaties to join the European Union. Also in 2005, the final piece of the obelisk of Axum was returned to Ethiopia after having been stolen by the invading Italian army in 1937. In 1990, Violeta Chamorro took office as the president of Nicaragua, becoming the first female to hold that position. In 1983, Pioneer 10 traveled beyond Pluto's orbital position. Also in 1983, United States schoolgirl Samantha Smith was invited to visit the Soviet Union by its leader Yuri Andropov after he read her letter in which she expressed fears about a nuclear war. Now, if that happened today, I would not be surprised if Vlad Putin ordered her held hostage and used her as a bargaining chip for some outlandish demand of the US. In 1975, North Vietnamese forces closed in on the South Vietnamese capital of Saigon. Due to this, the Australian embassy was closed and evacuated nearly 10 years to the day since the first Australian troop commitment to South Vietnam. In 1961, Robert Noyce was granted a patent for an integrated circuit. In 1960, the United States Navy submarine USS Triton completed the first submerged circumnavigation of the globe. In 1959, the St. Lawrence Seaway, linking the North American Great Lakes and the Atlantic Ocean, officially opened to shipping. In 1954, the first practical solar cell was publicly demonstrated by Bell Telephone Laboratories. In 1953, Francis Crick and James Watson published Molecular Structure of Nucleic Acids, a structure for deoxyribose nucleic acid, describing the double helix structure of DNA. In 1945, 50 nations gathered in San Francisco to begin the United Nations Conference on International Organization. Also in 1945, Liberation Day occurred in Italy when the Nazi occupation army surrendered and left northern Italy after a general partisan insurrection by the Italian resistance movement. The puppet fascist regime dissolved and Benito Mussolini was captured after trying to escape. This day is set as a public holiday to celebrate the liberation of Italy. Also in 1945, Elbe Day occurred, in which United States and Soviet troops met in Torgu along the River Elbe, cutting the Wehrmacht of Nazi Germany in two, which became a milestone in the approaching end of World War II in Europe. In 1920, at the San Remo Conference, the principal Allied powers of World War I adopted the resolution to determine the allocation of Class A League of Nations mandates for administration of the former Ottoman-ruled lands of the Middle East. In 1901, New York became the first U.S. state to require automobile license plates. In 1859, British and French engineers broke ground for the Suez Canal. In 1847, the last survivors of the Donner Party were out of the wilderness. In 1846, the Thornton Affair occurred, in which open conflict began over the disputed border of Texas. In 1792, La Marseillaise, the French national anthem, was composed by Claude-Joseph Roguet de Leslie. And also in 1792, highwayman Nicholas J. Pelletier became the first person executed by guillotine. And that concludes T.I.F.I.T.H.T. Once again, check the underbar for any and all links you may be interested in. For your dose of passive events daily, I am Ayo, and you are you. Toodles!